Hello, everyone, and welcome to the High Stakes Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Ambrosius. I'm joined by Geoff Stein and Tom Kessenich. Man, it's been a hot weekend here in Wisconsin, but you're never going to get me to complain about the heat. Not when we live in Wisconsin. It's cold all the time. But got to ask you guys, first of all, have you stayed cool this weekend, Tommy? Are you feeling nice and cool right now, or what's the situation with you?
I'm feeling cool now. Not so much this weekend. Had a bit of a central air problem at home this weekend, but yeah, now I'm finally nice and cool.
So you had to call in a repairman 2 days after the heat, and now you're good, huh?
Yeah, all good now. Yeah, bit of a problem for a couple of days, but now all nice and good.
Sweating for a couple of days. You look mean and trim right now. So, Geoff, I know you're never going to complain about the heat, right?
Never. I think it was snowing last week at this time here in Michigan. So give me this 100 times out of 100 over what we were dealing with. Even a month ago, it was cold. I remember we were in St. Louis to meet on the 20th of May. I don't think it broke 45 degrees back here in Michigan. So that day we were gone. So no, give me this. And again, it's a limited time, and I'm going to enjoy it while it's here.
Absolutely. All right. We have a really big show today with a couple of big announcements. So let's get right to it. We're breaking this news right here on High Stakes Weekly. We're happy and proud to announce today that the tag team of Mark Cerebro and Jason Emma are the newest members of the NFFC Hall of Fame. We're going to be inducting them into the NFFC Hall of Fame in Las Vegas on Saturday, September 6th. Mark becomes the first person to ever get inducted into the NFBC Hall of Fame and now the NFFC Hall of Fame. Honestly, he deserves to be the first one for this honor. So kudos to you guys. Now, Mark and Jason were charter members of the NFFC in 2004. They teamed up to win the NFFC Classic overall title that year and the $100,000 grand prize. Mark then won the NFFC Best Ball National Championship in 2016, won $30,000 there. And last year, Mark and Jason teamed up to win the NFFC Primetime overall title and that $250,000 grand prize. They bookended national titles from 2004 to 2024. Just unbelievable. Mark became the first three-time NFFC national champion. Man, it's only fitting that he also gets into the Hall of Fame this year as well. So he goes in with his partner, his good friend, Jason Emma. Congrats to both of you. Tom, I know you've known Mark and Jason for 21 years. Your thoughts on this, and well-deserved, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, two great guys, two great players. Like you say, charter members to win the first ever Classic and then come back 20 years later to win the primetime and do it in exciting fashion, right? To do it on the final game of the season last year, Jahmyr Gibbs with the big touchdown run that propelled them to the primetime championship. They go into that final. Mark didn't even watch the game. He doesn't watch football the game days. He watches a Super Bowl. Jason, of course, was watching it and sweating it all out. A lot of fun, a great championship for the two of them. Great players. But like I say, great guys on top of it. So we've had so many great champions over the years. But for them to come back 20 years after winning the Classic and to win the prime time, just a fantastic honor for the two of them. And couldn't think of better guys to go into the Hall of Fame in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were in 46th place in the primetime championship round heading into week 17. They just had a massive weekend. I think it's the most points ever for week 17 in the primetime championship round. And then, like you say, on Monday night, they win it on the San Francisco-Detroit game with Jahmyr Gibbs going around the end with about 4 minutes to go. Touchdown. They move ahead of Randy Meckles. I mean, Geoff, you've known Gecko on our message board, so as a lot of people, right? You got to meet him and Jason in Las Vegas this March for baseball. I mean, you know how tough it is to win one national title. Hell, to win league titles is tough, but to win 3 national titles, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, someone that was a NFBC, NFFC player in between my little breaks here when I was originally around back in the early 2000s and till now. I know how hard these leagues are. Like you said, it's hard to win a league, let alone an overall. To do what these guys have done is amazing, and they deserve the whole, to be the first in the NFBC and NFFC Hall of Fame. Yeah. That leads me to the question, aren't you guys in one of the Hall of Fames? How aren't you two the first two to be in both? Which one are you guys in, and why aren't you in the other one yet? You got to work on that.
It's a good question, but you were gone. So KJ Duke actually did a players something or whatever, give me a Hall of Fame plaque in 2011, and we did induct Tommy and Brady Tinker into a players wing, if you will.
Okay.
And so we've
So
had
that covers that the players wing covers both contests then.
Yep.
Got you. Okay, that makes
there
sense.
We got Kim in there, and we got Tom in there, and I guess I'm in there as well. So we don't want the accolades. We just work for the money. That's all we're here
definitely
for.
Does. Don't be all humble. You know Tom wants those accolades.
Tom wants the money, right? Tom, you want the money.
Wait, I get money for being in the Hall of Fame too? I didn't know about that. I got the plaque, but I got money too. So where's the money?
You really boost your autograph value on the card show.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, a lot of autograph value coming. Yeah.
All right, so Mark and Jason become the 12th and 13th members of the NFFC Hall of Fame. I'm going to post their entire resumes on the message boards very shortly, so check out the message boards. I mean, combined, they have 46 NFFC league titles, but it's really the 3 national titles that stand out. Honestly, the 2 years that they won the national titles, they didn't even win their league titles. In fact, they finished 3rd in their league in the Classic in 2004, had a hell of a run in the championship round, won the title, the overall title. Last year, they finished 3rd in their prime time as well. And then they had a hell of a run in the championship round. So I told them both yesterday, they are the Eli Manning of the NFFC. They just know how to win the big ones, right? So congrats to both of you guys. And again, we're going to promise that we're going to celebrate appropriately in Las Vegas. I'm just going to give you the names of our Hall of Famers. We started this, I believe, in 2011 with Chad Schroeder, Jules McLean, Chris Vaccaro, Tom Yates, Lumpy Anderson, Michael Edelman, Billy Wazowski. They were the first class right there. And we can talk about it, Tom, but that's, you look at that list right there, and they're still with us today in 2025 and just dominating. That's a hell of a class. Then we had Mike Santos and Kurt Kikas, and then Chris Eibel, Glenn Schroeder, and now Mark Cerebro and Jason Emma. Tom, I just want to talk about that original class: Chad, Jules, Tommy Yates, Lumpy, Billy Waz, Michael Edelman. I think we did a good job picking that one, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's what stands out to me. All of them are still playing with us.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're still great players.
Yeah.
Every single one of them still playing, still winning, still playing at a high level. So, yeah, we did well by putting them into the Hall of Fame, but they're still all great players. And so they've stood the test of time, just like I think Mark and Jason will too going forward. So to me, yes, we honored great players, great people, but they're all still playing and still playing at a high level, which speaks to them as players as much as anything.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
And just real quick, may I add, from meeting these guys out in baseball, we better have the soda pops cold on that Hall of Fame induction night, because I think there's going to be some celebrating being done.
We know the bills have been high with those guys for a long time, but we love every minute of it. So now it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, many of those guys, Michael Edelman will be out there, Glenn Schroeder will be out there, Jules will be out there. A lot of our Hall of Famers are going to be out. Kurt and Mike Santos are both going to be out there. So Lumpy's going to be out there. Chris Eibel's going to be out there. I mean, that's a lot of Hall of Famers out there. We're going to bring them up to the stage of champions and really, really have a good day. So that'll be Saturday, September 6th at Park MGM, right before the prime time at 10 a.m. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Now on to the other big news of the day. We're going to pack both of them into this one podcast. We have found a host hotel for the NFBC Las Vegas in March of 2026. We will be hosting a full week of live events at the Rio, March 18th through the 25th, 2026. Now, we first hosted the NFBC at the Rio, Las Vegas in 2004 and 2005. We're going to be returning there 22 years later. We have a 20,000 square foot ballroom Thursday through Sunday. And we're going to have room for 9 main event leagues at once on Saturday, March 21st. So we've got a big stage of champions. This is very similar to what we had at the Bellagio. When we had the Bellagio ballroom. It's very similar to what we had at the Mirage with that grand ballroom. So really, when we look for space, obviously the host hotel is key, but finding convention space is really, really important. And this is ideal for us. So we're going to have big ballrooms for each of the individual auctions and drafts. We got enough room for some maybe welcome receptions and such like that. We've got a good room for the Friday night party. We can talk about that a little bit, but and we got a good guest room rate too. I mean, $149 on Thursday of March Madness is the first weekend of March Madness. That's pretty damn good. It's $149 every night, except for Friday and Saturday. I think it's $229. So really got a nice deal going there. So if you're asking why we don't just return to Park MGM or the Bellagio every year, I mean, you guys know, right? We'd love to stay in the host hotel that we have. We went to Park MGM. As soon as we were done, we met with our salesperson, and it was booked already. So Park MGM is completely booked in March of 2026. Bellagio is completely booked. Mirage is gone. They're getting a guitar put there. Caesar's property on the Strip, all of it is sold out for 2026 March. So trust me, I flew out to Las Vegas in May, and I met with every salesperson who had a chance to help us. And really, the Rio was our only choice to stay near the Strip. So that's where we're at. So the Rio has a center bar. So, Jeff, I know that's going to be good. We got some late night baseball talk. We can go there. And the Hyatt owns it now, and they put $380 million in renovations there. All of our rooms are in the renovated guest tower. The other tower is not renovated, but all of our rooms are in the tower that has been renovated. So I promise it's going to be a fantastic live event. I wish we were right on the Strip, but this is the way it goes. And Tom, you've been doing this with me. You know what these contracts are like. You know what the space is like. It's very difficult for us. We try to get a space a year out if we can. But listen, the Rio is going to work out good. 20,000 square feet convention space. Let's move forward and let's have a great time, right?
Yeah, and look, we've been at the Rio before, so this is a homecoming for us. And like you said, that ballroom is going to be fantastic. So when people get a look at that, and we can post pictures if we need to, so people can get a good look at that ballroom. But it's like you say, it's going to be like we had at the Bellagio. It's going to be like we had at the Mirage. So it's a huge ballroom. We're going to get 9 full leagues in there. It's going to be massive. It's going to be fantastic for that big Saturday main event. So people are going to love that. And the party room that we're going to have on Friday for the MTM party, it's going to be fantastic. So trust me, people, it's going to be a great weekend there at the Rio. Sure, yeah, we'd love to be right there on the Strip like we have been in the past, but this is going to work out fantastic for everybody. And again, we've been at the Rio before, so if you've been with us in the past there, you know it's going to work out great. And that center bar is going to be fantastic. We are going to dominate that like we did at Park, at the Mirage. It's going to be a fantastic setup. It's going to be a great week. It's just going to work out fantastic for us. Trust me, when you get a look at that ballroom, people, you're going to love it. Trust me.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And like you said, Jeff, the center bar at night is good because people love to hang out after the drafts and such like that. Again, we're going to have 9 individual ballrooms. So we usually use 4 to 5 on Friday and Thursday. So we'll have some extra ballrooms where we can have some welcome receptions and such like that. And maybe we will have some 350 live drafts. Who knows? But we have the space to do things. But more importantly, we got the center bar area. We got a place to hang out. Stay at the Rio. I mean, really, if you're going to come on out there, stay at the Rio with us, right?
Yeah, as someone whose goal, like I mentioned, I was a player, and my goal was, one of these years I'm going to make it out to Vegas. I never did as a player, but in my 2 years as I'm working with the NFBC now again, holy cow, this is just like the ultimate in fantasy baseball. I don't think there's anything better than coming to those drafts and just seeing everyone hanging around, everyone talking fantasy baseball. And I really do think it could be an NFBC takeover of the Rio. That's kind of how, we mentioned before, former home of the World Series of Poker. I almost feel like this could kind of become the NFBC home of where we all just meet, where we all hang out. It's going to be a fantasy baseball good time. And I think the setup there really, really works well. Kind of like how we almost had it at the Mirage. You guys mentioned that with everyone hanging out in the middle of the center bar at the casino. And I'm really excited about this one. Again, I know some people are going to hear that we're not on the Strip right away and say, but I mean, it's a quick Uber ride. Honestly, it's not that much different than staying at some of these hotels and going to Park MGM or the Mirage. It's about the same Uber ride distance. And I know a lot of our guys we're a lot closer to the Stage Door bar and casino where you can get your $2 Busch Lights on draft. So that's a positive for some of our guys. I know that like to hit that place after the draft. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Like you mentioned, a homecoming of sorts, and it's going to be a great time.
Yep, absolutely. So stay at the Rio with us. We'll take it over and we'll have some fun out there. But March 18th through the 25th, we're at the Rio NFBC. Let's go. Let's make it have some fun. All right, let's provide another exciting announcement. Last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder won their first NBA title over the Indiana Pacers, but they weren't the only winners last night. Tom, we had a winner of a $10,000 grand prize in the NFBKC postseason contest. Who was it?
Well, I guess it's a day for Hall of Famers. We talked about Mark and Jason in the NFFC, NFFC. NFBKC Hall of Famer Eric Wong won our 2024-25 postseason contest and the $10,000 grand prize. So congratulations to Eric. Doug McCord, he finished second. He got himself $4,000 for second place. And Randy Lucas finished third, won $3,500. So we'll get all those prizes on account a little bit later in the week. And I'm working on our player default list right now. Get that off to Jeff so we can wrap that up. We'll get all this done hopefully in the next few days. We'll get everything set up for 2025-26 real soon. We got the draft, of course, this week. So everything's on pace to get everything set up for the next season of NBA real soon for everybody who's playing fantasy hoops.
Eric Wong won this tournament last year, too. So that's 2 years in a row for Eric Wong. He's a hell of a player for sure. Yep. All right, so we're going to wait for Elias scoring changes through tonight and tomorrow. We'll have money on accounts on Wednesday. Then the draft is on Wednesday, so we're going to wait to see where the rookies are. Then we'll put them on their teams. And we think we're going to launch basketball around July 15th. That's when we think we're going to go live with it, on July 15th. So look for more updates there. But yes, our first 25-26 season will be started July 15th with hoops. All right, Tom, we're basically at the halfway point of the NFBC season. Quickly, just give an update on the national leaders of our NFBC national contests.
Yeah, I'll go through a couple here real quick. Jason Weir, our defending champ in the online auction championship. He's leading that contest again as we go into week 14, starting up tonight. Brian Ambos and Adam Ronis, they are having a great season in the main event. They're back in first place there. Doug Gruber, we've been talking about him. He's back atop the RotoWire Online Championship. Bob Castronopoulos leading the Champions League qualifier and the Diamond Challenge points contest. And Zach Waxman, he's still leading a couple of contests as well. After week 13, he's atop the Gladiator and the Best Ball. Again, we're starting week 14 tonight. So about halfway through the season now as we get the end of June right now.
Wow, halfway through the baseball season. It's crazy, but good stuff. All right. Lastly, I'm live streaming a RotoWire Online Champion Draft tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, with new NFFC Hall of Famer, Mark Cerebro. It's the Beat Gecko League. So that league's full already. In fact, it filled up immediately. Also in this draft is defending RotoWire Online champion Philip Brubaker. So this should be a lot of fun with Mark and Philip in there. I'm going to invite any of the participants to join me if they want on the air. So tune in tomorrow on our YouTube channel for that fun live stream. And on Wednesday, Tom, you're featuring an NFFC Cutline Championship draft on your SiriusXM show. I see you got an early start time with the show. What's up?
Yeah, they're moving us a couple hours early. Jeff Erickson and I, Jeff's back from his overseas trip, wherever he was, Spain, Portugal. I'll have to talk to Jeff about all that. Hopefully we're going to sell a cut line draft out this week. 7 p.m. Eastern is the draft. If you want to join me on the show, it's at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll feature that cut line draft. But yeah, if you want to get Philip on the show, the live stream tomorrow, I had Philip on the show last week on Sirius. Okay. Great guest. But anyway, Wednesday night, we're going to be spotlighting the cut line draft at 7 p.m. Eastern. Spots are available. Just head on over to playnffc.com, sign up. We'd love to sell that out and feature it on our Sirius show Wednesday night. The show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern this week.
8 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's a nice time slot, prime time. I love it. So, all right, Jeff, last night you watched the RotoWire Online Championship draft, and we had a 150 Online Auction Championship auction. So that was good. Doubleheader last night. Jamar Chase went for $59 in the auction. Then I looked and I see Ashton Genty went third overall in the draft. Talk a little bit about those two events you watched last night.
Yeah, I'm looking at this draft board right away, and one of the things that stuck out to me, and obviously it was different come the championship rounds, but Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Again, Barkley, the fourth running back off the board last night. You mentioned Genty went third overall. Bijan, number 2. Bijan's got ahead of Saquon in most leagues. And then Jahmyr Gibbs went number 4 overall. So that's kind of interesting to me that, I'm sorry. And then Henry, Cripe, he went early round 2. I mean, these guys that, carried a lot of teams through the regular season last year are being, 4th, 5th, even 6th running back off the board sometimes. That's kind of interesting to me. And I know you're drafting, this year's stats and not last year's stats, but I mean, is it going to be that big of a difference? I believe in Saquon. I believe in Henry. I don't think things have changed that much with either of those offenses. They put up huge numbers. And again, I don't think they're going to put up all world numbers, maybe all universe numbers like they did last year. But as far as safety goes, my goodness, to see these guys going as, the 4th and 5th running back, 4th and 6th running back, that's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the running backs got pushed up, those top guys. A lot of wear and tear, though, on Barkley and Henry. So we'll see if they can still hold up for another year and take 300 touches. We'll see. But, yeah, some real interesting auction. I just throw some out right here. Jefferson went for 53. CeeDee Lamb for 53. Bijan 53. Barkley did go for 53 in the auction. Gibbs for 52. Genty $44. Again, he went 3rd overall in the draft, though. Here, Brock Bowers $36. McBride $28. Kittle $22. And then nobody else over $10. Tom, when you look at some of those numbers, especially the 50 plus, in fact, the 3 of us are going to have to do a GTG auction here during the All-Star break here. What do you think about the big dollars that are going out for the top stars right now?
Yeah, I guess if you want one of those running backs, you're going to have to pay this year. Last year, I think you and I, you did really well in the auction league last year. You and I got Barkley and Gibbs in the low 40s, I think. So that ain't happening this year. If we want to go get those guys, we're going to have to spend to get them. Bijan, the same thing. So it's going to be interesting to see where Genty goes. I was very curious to watch his auction value. So he's moving up for sure in our drafts right now. I think people are really kind of climbing on board. He's the one I'm more interested to see if he kind of edges up into that mid to higher $40 range. I think it's going to start happening. I think we get closer to our live events. He is definitely going to push into that mid first round. I think he's the guy who's going to get the helium as we get closer and closer to the start of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, Bijan 2 years ago was in the same situation. He had 248 points, right? He did not perform as well as we thought he was going to. So careful on these rookies. That being said, I looked up Saquon during his rookie season. He had 380 some points, the most he's ever had as a rookie. So I'm not saying to get scared off of Genty. I'm just saying be careful. Bijan did not come through last year or 2 years ago, and we'll see if Genty does. But interesting. All right. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, we still have this Gladiator 10 promo. Again, that's 20% off a Gladiator Championship entry. Check it out. And it's good through today. So take a 4-hour, 2-hour draft and jump on in. They're a lot of fun. All right. We had a lot in this podcast. We're really happy to announce some of this stuff. And let's plan on March 2026. Let's plan on Las Vegas in September. Let's plan on some beers together, guys. What do you think? A few Coronas out in Las Vegas. Jeff, you okay with that?
Maybe 1 or 2.
That's right. You don't like Coronas. Either does Tom. But I do. So, no, we'll have some fun. So we'll see everybody out in Las Vegas. All right. That's a wrap on our High Stakes Weekly Podcast. Congrats again to our newest Hall of Famers, Mark and Jason. You guys are buying the first round of drinks in Las Vegas. How's that? That sounds good. And congrats to the Rio. You get to host us in March 2026. So we'll see everybody there. Thanks, everybody. Stay cool this week. All right.
Thank you for joining us on the High Stakes Fantasy Network podcast. To get in the game, go to playnfc.com.